Stop scrolling and listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal will determine whether you wake up protected or wake up to discover that everything you spent your entire life building has been legally taken while you slept. This is not clickbait. This is not exaggeration. Something catastrophic happened at midnight last night, and almost nobody realizes it yet. While you were asleep, while the world felt quiet and normal, your financial future was quietly rewritten without your consent. Today is Monday, January 12th, 2026. And your bank account just became a crime scene. The people responsible aren't hiding in the shadows. They're not hackers or criminals on the run. They're sitting in marble boardrooms, wearing tailored suits, making decisions about your money that you were never supposed to notice, let alone understand. In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose exactly what changed at midnight, why it matters more than anything else happening in markets right now, and the one move that could determine whether you survive what AES coming or get wiped out with everyone else. But understand this clearly. The window to protect yourself is closing far faster than most people can imagine. And the majority want to figure it out until the moment they try to access their money, only to discover it's already gone. Let me explain exactly what happened, because this is where the nightmare begins. At midnight, a new financial rule quietly went live across every major Western economy. It didn't make headlines. There were no emergency broadcasts, no breaking news alerts, but it fundamentally changed the rules of the game. This rule legally allows banks to reach directly into your account and take your money when they get into trouble. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not speculation. This is documented policy. It's called the 2026 Resolution Framework, and as of last night, it became legally binding. For decades, you were told that if banks failed, governments would step in and bail them out using taxpayer money. That promise officially died at midnight. Under this new framework, bail-ins are now prioritized over bailouts. Let me translate that into plain English. If your bank makes catastrophic bets and loses everything, they no longer need government assistance first. Instead, they are legally required to use customer deposits to save themselves. Your savings account, your retirement fund, the money you worked decades to build. It has been quietly reclassified as survival capital for the banking system. Your money is now their emergency fund. And what I am about to show you explains exactly why this rule is about to be triggered, not months from now, but potentially within days. I'm Kenzo, and this is Boring Currency Archive. What I'm about to reveal is fully documented, verifiable, and unfolding in real time. By the end of this video, I'll show you exactly what to do in the next 24 hours, before this window closes permanently. Now, let me show you the crime actively unfolding on trading floors around the world, because this is where things turn absolutely insane. When the opening bell rang in New York this morning, senior risk managers returned to their desks and discovered something that made them physically sick. The global pricing mechanism for silver, one of the most important monetary and industrial metals on Earth, has completely shattered. Your brokerage app shows silver trading around $71 per ounce. That number is a digital hallucination. In Tokyo, physical silver is changing hands at over $130 per ounce. That's a nearly $60 gap between what your screen tells you and what reality looks like. This gap is not normal volatility. It is the sound of the global financial system cracking in half. And here's the part most people don't understand. This silver collapse connects directly to your bank account. You might be wondering why silver matters to your personal savings. This is where the story becomes terrifying. In December 2025, the Bank Participation Report revealed something that stunned seasoned analysts. The 4 largest American banks, institutions like JP Morgan, did something they have not done in 40 consecutive years. They flipped from being net short silver to being net long. For 4 decades, they bet silver prices would fall. Suddenly, with no public explanation, they reversed course and began betting on a massive price explosion. But here's the sinister part no one is talking about. They didn't just change their position. They dumped over 215 million ounces of toxic short exposure onto foreign banks in Europe, Canada, and Asia. Those foreign banks are now legally obligated to deliver physical silver they do not possess at prices they cannot afford. They are short roughly 25% of the planet's annual silver production, at the exact moment when physical inventory has evaporated from vaults worldwide. And this is where it connects to you. When these foreign banks collapse under their silver losses, and they will collapse, not months from now, but potentially within days, they will immediately trigger the bail-in rules that activated at midnight. If you hold deposits in any bank exposed to this derivative nightmare, your savings become their life raft. They are legally allowed to drain your account to cover their losses. American banks saw this coming. They protected themselves, and in doing so, they set the perfect trap for everyone else, including you. Now let me show you the brutal mathematics behind what's being called the Monday Massacre. Because numbers don't lie, even when prices do. As of this morning, registered inventory representing actual physical silver available for delivery has effectively vanished. In the first trading days of 2026 alone, delivery demand surged past 17 million ounces. That is roughly 2% of the world's annual silver production demanded in under 48 hours. The system has now reached a terminal ratio of approximately 4,000 paper claims for every single ounce of physical metal. Let me put that into perspective. Imagine 4,000 people holding receipts claiming ownership of the same 1 ounce of silver in a vault. Only one of them gets the metal. The other 3,999 get a piece of paper saying, "Sorry, we ran out. Here's cash at a price we decided." This is musical chairs with 4,000 players in one chair. And the music stopped. For 40 years, whenever silver prices rose, banks flooded markets with paper contracts, creating fake supply out of thin air to suppress real prices. They could print unlimited paper silver and keep the illusion alive indefinitely. But something has fundamentally changed. The buyers are different now. These are not American speculators willing to accept cash settlements. These are sovereign nations and industrial giants demanding physical atoms, not digital promises. China, Russia, India, major corporations. They want delivery and they will not accept substitutes. This is why force majeure is now considered inevitable. Soon, exchanges will admit they cannot deliver. They will attempt to cash settle contracts at artificial prices, while real metal trades at multiples of that value on the open market. If your wealth is parked in paper ETFs or unallocated metal accounts, you are about to be forcibly settled out of generational wealth. And legally, there's nothing you can do, because you agreed to it in the fine print. This is not about speculation anymore. This is about ownership versus promises. And this brings us to the final and most dangerous part of the story. The supply crisis is now sealed. A red wall is formed, one that cannot be printed through, hedged away, or manipulated forever. When confidence breaks completely, everything reprices at once. Banks don't fail slowly, they fail overnight. And under the new rules that went live at midnight, when they do, they don't go to governments first. They come to you, your account, your savings, your future. That is why the next 24 hours matter more than anything else you will have done financially in your entire life. Because once this window closes, the rules will already be in effect. And most people won't realize what happened until it's too late. On January 1st, 2026, something happened that most people still don't understand the implications of. China quietly implemented a total strategic resource lockdown. No press conferences, no dramatic announcements, just a policy switch that instantly altered the balance of the global silver market. China refines roughly 40% of the world's silver supply. Without China, silver does not flow into Western markets in meaningful quantities. And Beijing issued 0 export waivers for the entire first quarter of 2026. Every ounce stayed home. They are hoarding silver for one reason: survival and dominance. Their 450 gigawatt solar expansion, their electric vehicle transformation, their next phase of industrial supremacy. Silver is the bloodstream of that future, and China understands something the West pretended not to see. Silver is no longer a commodity. It's a strategic resource. This single move created a two-tier reality that the global financial system cannot survive. In the West, you have paper promises backed by nothing but confidence. Digital contracts, ETFs, derivatives, screens flashing prices that no longer represent anything real. In the East, you have physical truth, metal in vaults, metal in factories, metal in motion. The bridge between these two realities has collapsed. Secure logistics providers like Brinks and Loomis are booked solid through February. There is no spare capacity left to move metal. War risk insurance for Red Sea shipping has exploded so violently that most silver deliveries are no longer economically viable. Even if you could find metal, moving it has become a geopolitical gamble. While banks scramble behind the scenes to cover exposed positions, something else detonated. Something I call the Samsung silver bomb. Samsung's next-generation solid-state batteries require approximately 1 kilogram of silver per vehicle. That is not a typo. 1 kilogram. That represents a 3,000% increase over current battery designs. If just 20% of the global vehicle fleet transitions to this technology over the next decade, those batteries alone will consume roughly 25% of all silver mined on Earth every single year, before accounting for electronics, solar, defense, or medical use. Samsung is not waiting for exchanges to figure things out. Executives are landing private jets at mine sites in Mexico and South America, offering $80 per ounce for silver that is still in the ground. They are bypassing the paper system entirely because they understand the truth. The paper price is fiction. And then there is the Pentagon factor. The demand nobody can outbid and nobody can shut off. Silver has been quietly reclassified as a strategic war metal. Each Tomahawk missile requires roughly 15 kilograms of silver. Fighter jets consume massive quantities across avionics, radar, guidance systems, and weapons integration. Satellites, drones, secure communications, all silver intensive. The military is an inelastic buyer. They don't care if silver costs $73 or $300 per ounce. National security does not negotiate with markets. They will pay whatever it takes. That demand does not respond to interest rates, price suppression, or financial engineering. It only grows. And now we reach the final nail in the coffin, the event that changes everything about the dollar in your wallet. Today marks the official end of the petrodollar era. Since the 1970s, the US dollar derived its power from oil. Every nation needed dollars to buy energy, so they held massive dollar reserves. That artificial demand supported the currency for over 50 years. That arrangement is over. BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and dozens of aligned countries, are now settling energy trades in gold-backed tokens and local currencies. They no longer need dollars. Trillions of unwanted dollars are now flooding back to American shores, creating inflationary pressure not seen in generations. When too many dollars chase too few goods, you don't get mild inflation, you get currency decay. And that decay is accelerating faster than anyone predicted. The January effect is pouring gasoline on the fire. Every January, trillions of dollars in pension and institutional capital automatically rebalance into the best performing assets of the prior year. The best performing asset of 2025 was silver. Now massive pension funds are trying to buy the equivalent of 2 years of global silver production in a single week. They are discovering the metal simply does not exist in the quantities their algorithms demand. The spot price has become completely disconnected from physical reality. And something remarkable is happening on the ground. A parallel economy is forming in real time. People who understand what's happening are dumping digital dollars for junk silver, old American dimes, quarters, and half dollars minted before 1965 when coins contained 90% real silver. In this shadow economy, a single silver dime buys a loaf of bread. A silver ounce fills a gas tank. Silver is being remonetized not by governments, but by people, because trust in institutions has collapsed. Because bank accounts are now viewed not as personal property, but as survival capital for failing systems. So what does all of this mean for you right now? Picture yourself aboard a massive ocean liner that's taking on water. The captain orders passengers to surrender their life jackets for the collective good, but you notice something strange. The captain is wearing 3 life jackets under his uniform and quietly moving toward the only working lifeboat. The banks are that captain. They protected themselves months ago. They offloaded catastrophic risk onto foreign institutions and unsuspecting depositors. And now, because the rules say they can, they are coming for your life jacket. Physical silver is that life jacket. It exists outside their digital control grid, where keystrokes make wealth vanish. It carries no counterparty risk. No institution needs to stay solvent or honest for it to hold value. It cannot be bailed in. It cannot be frozen with a policy memo. It cannot disappear because someone changed a rule at midnight. When you hold real metal in your hands, you have exited the system designed to extract your wealth during crisis. Today, Monday, January 12th, 2026, the rules of money changed forever. The money you believed was safely stored has been legally reclassified as a resource failing institutions can tap to save themselves. The price you see on your screen is a paper illusion maintained by collapsing derivatives. The dollar you trusted your entire life is losing reserve status faster than anyone expected. Everything you were taught about how the financial system works is being exposed as a carefully maintained illusion, designed to keep you passive while your wealth is quietly transferred. The question you must answer is simple. Will you measure your wealth in ounces of real metal that has stored value for 5,000 years? Or will you continue measuring it in digits on a screen that can be seized with a single keystroke? The choice is yours. But the window to make that choice is closing faster than most people realize. Stay safe out there. Stay informed about what's really happening behind the headlines. And above all, stay stacked. Because the people who understand this moment aren't panicking. They prepared months ago. And now they're watching events unfold, knowing their wealth is already outside the blast radius.